Hey, welcome back to MacBreak Studio. I'm Mark. I'm here with Steve. We're in the studio in beautiful Prescott, Arizona in the Digital Barn. Steve's talking about Final Cut Pro and a plugin that's been out for a little while, but you've kind of just discovered it and you're really big on it.
Yeah, it's a plugin that creates split screens, like, you know, the opening to 24, even going back to the 60s or early 70s, the Brady Bunch.
And all the little corners, yeah, like Hollywood squares.
Exactly. And sometimes you need to create that. And our good friend Simon Ubsdale, who has a YouTube channel, he does a lot of motion tutorials. Really great guy. He has this program under the banner Tokyo Effects.
Tokyo Effects, okay.
Which are delivered through FX Factory, like our own plugins. So I discovered it through there, and I was using it one day to create an intro to a new video we're working on.
Okay.
In fact, let's take a look at what you can do with it. I've created a couple of examples here. We'll just go ahead and play here. So there's our 3 ripple trainers flying in. Now, the thing about this is you could do this in Final Cut Pro, but it would take time.
It would take a little while because you got to crop, you got to set keyframes, you got to line everything up.
Exactly. Here's another example. I did a PSA on vaping. So I got some smokers coming in here. And again, you can do this in Final Cut, but watch how easy it is to do using Split Animator. So what I want to do is work with these 3 clips here. Notice I have them
kind of stacked up, yes, connected clips. So it's not applied yet. You're
not applied
yet. Scratch.
So basically I have a bottom clip, a middle clip, and a top clip.
Got it,
okay.
yeah.
And you'll find the Tokyo Split Animator in the effects section of the Final Cut Pro, the effects browser, here under Tokyo Split Animator. And the thing about this plugin is that you'll see these icons. By skimming over them, you'll see kind of what they do right out of the box. Like this one brings in the image from the left, and so you can see it creates a left panel. And if I go down to this one, you can see it creates an upper left panel. And what's really great about how he has these set up, they're labeled A1, A2, B2, B3, and you can almost like you can mix and match them to create different split screens.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is grab this A1 split, and I'm going to just drop it right on that first clip here. And as you can see, as I skim over, it just brings the clip in from the right, and it creates a nice little third panel section.
Okay, and it's automatically cropped it to the middle.
It cropped in the middle. And notice it puts the on-screen control right in the center. So if you need to, you could move this around and
reposition the content.
Reposition the content. Some other stuff you can do. I'm going to go over to the inspector and go ahead and spill open the controls. Right now, you have the animation direction. You have an arrive direction and a depart direction. So right now it's coming in from the right, but you can have it come in from the left, from the top, bottom, what have you, right here.
So really flexible.
Very, very flexible. And you have a depart direction too. And you may not want it to animate out at all, so I'm going to choose no position available. Okay. There's some other things you could do. You could set down here, you could set the X and Y position using this slider. So notice if you wanted the panel there, you could, instead of the left, you want the right, you can just move the slider or move it in the middle. And what's really great about this is it's taken all the math out of this for you. If you're trying to do this in Final Cut, which you could do, you have to figure out.
Dividing into 3, how many pixels.
Exactly, you don't have to even think about that anymore. So that's what makes this great. Some other things you can do that I find really handy is that you can change the anchor point for adjustment of the position. You can change the border color. I'm going to go ahead and just change it to this orange color. And you can crop the edges, so if you don't want a border at all. I mean, if you do want a border going around
the whole thing.
Around the whole thing. So look, a lot of this is self-explanatory. You're just going to play with it and see what you can do. There it is. So what I'm going to do is bring in another, actually, let me set the border color back because I'm not a big fan of the orange. So I'm going to go ahead and set it back to white for now, which is the default. And I'm going to bring this next image in. And I didn't mention this, that it's set up where this is the alpha channel, this area in the black, so it's already kind of set up for you to bring in the other panels.
Okay. It's expecting you to stack them in this way.
It's expecting you to stack them. So I'm going to move to this section here, and I'm looking at the options here, and I think I want it to, I want to break it up. If I look at this, I want to break this up where maybe I have, I could break it up with smaller pieces on this side, or maybe I'll use this one over here to fill in that side. So I look at it almost like a little puzzle. Like, okay, what pieces can I fit in that remaining section?
Space that you've got available. Okay.
Right. So I'm going to try this C2 split animator. I'm going to throw that on there, and let's see. Great. Let's see what that. It's not really in the right position, so I'm going to go over here to the inspector, and I'm going to go ahead and move this.
Oh, wow. So you're really free to mix and match these any way you want.
Free to mix and match however you want. So maybe I want it to come in there. And then you can, again, move this around if you want to reposition this image. And let's say I'm going to go ahead and now work on this one here. And let's say we have to, let's see, drop here, oops. I'm going to drop it on the top. Drop it on the top one. And let's see, I don't like the position of that. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say, Y position. Actually, move the playhead there. And we'll go ahead and play with the Y position. Maybe I'm going to move that down there. And the bottom line is you can move these around at will to get the configuration that you want. So for example, in fact, let's just play to see how it looks, how this is working so far. So this comes in, that comes in, and then that comes in over the top of it.
Yeah, and you framed that diver very nicely.
Oh yeah, well, I did that intentionally. But what's really nice is that Tokyo Animator can always kind of figure out what the center point of the image is relative to how it crops them. And so really with this plugin, you could just go in and you could start playing with the positions. Very simple. Maybe I want to go back to here, and maybe I want to adjust the position of this a little bit, so I can go over to this X position, and maybe I want it over here, and then go back to this, and maybe I want this. Maybe I want to move this a little bit over here, and it just gives you a ton of flexibility in terms of where you want things to come in and out. Okay, and then because this is an alpha channel, I can have other content under here. So for example, right now it's black, but for whatever reason, I wanted to go into, let's see, it's a generator.
Just put a generator under everything.
Yeah, exactly. So let me go ahead and pick a background, and let's see, let's find something appropriate. Some underwater stuff. Let's go ahead and throw that underneath there. And so, like I said,
wow.
It recognizes the alpha channel. Yep. It's just fantastic. And again, it saves you from having to build this from scratch and figuring out the coordinates and then figuring out the keyframes. It's so fast.
That seems the main thing. It's fast and it's very easy to get just the parts you want to show.
Just the parts you want to show. And I've already used it. Like I said, I'm building a video right now, and I've got, I started playing with it with you guys, the 3 trainers, and I was able to knock that out in literally 5 minutes.
Wow. Wow.
So
very good.
Tokyo Split Animator on fxfactory.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Steve, great. Thanks. Hope you guys found that useful. We'll be back here next week. Follow us, rippletraining.com, Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.